the shoulder joint is it's a really mobile joint, right? It's one of the most mobile joints we have, and so it's kind of vulnerable to injury because it, you know, can move so many directions. So it's important to take care of it, not just to stretch it out, but to strengthen the muscles that are around the joint, right, for stability. So we will get started. So take your roll, whether it's a towel or a blanket, and place it towards the back of your mat. But give yourself some space so that your shoulders, like the top of your shoulders and your head, can rest. And so you'll lay down here. And you want to get the lower tips of your shoulder blades, like the lower tip, the lower third, on the blanket or your towel. And then let your shoulders rest back on the floor and arms out to the side. So you can see that there's a nice lift here of the rib cage. And this is taking my shoulder blades and pulling them forward and up. So this is going to serve as our meditation today. Close your eyes. Let your feet be wherever is comfortable. Maybe it's legs just extended forward. Maybe your feet need to come on the floor, knees up. You could take your knees together. Maybe Baddha Konasana legs. Choose where you're going. And bring your awareness to your breath. So don't make your breath super deep right now. As we're laying here and the rib cage being popped up like this, it's a different angle than it's used to. So make your breath softer right now. And just feel the stretch that's happening all along the front of your body. Especially like the lower rib cage. As you exhale, let your body soften into the support. And we'll slowly start to increase the volume of our breath. Mindful, you don't want to go to your maximum capacity right away. Slowly get there. Let's take about 5 more breaths, allowing your lungs to expand, allowing the muscles between the ribs to expand. Turn on your Ujjayi breath. Breathe in and out of your nose. And create a slight restriction in the back of your throat. Two more breaths. Make that last breath the biggest breath of the day. Hold it at the top. And then a forceful exhale out the mouth. Good. Bring your feet to the floor, knees up, and roll to your side. just take a moment to feel your back body and then how that affected the front body. So when we press the shoulder blades forward, we're giving some lifting to the chest area. So we're going to be able to open up through here. And that's, pretty important when we're talking about shoulders, is the chest area and the pecs to be opened. Sorry if you can hear my husband and the dogs playing. Roll your shoulders. Big circles. Okay, go circles in the opposite direction. Good. One more big circle. And then sit up nice and tall. Take your left hand down, right arm up and over to the left side of the room. Keep your sits bones planted. Don't let your right sits bone pop up. Take a big stretch, maybe bend your left elbow to help you deepen. And inhale, come up, both arms up. Exhale, take the right hand down, your left arm reaches up and over. Plant your sits bones, stretch it out, bend your right elbow. Take it all the way through your side body. Inhale, come up. Exhale, take your left hand down, right arm up and over. We're going to go side to side a couple times. Inhale up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm over. Inhale up. Exhale, over. Inhale to center. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up and over. Good. Come back up. Over. Now, stay here. Pull your belly in and up. Take a big breath in. Spread your fingers wide. And then as you exhale, pull your right elbow down and squeeze your right shoulder blade in towards the spine. So you want this to be really active, very, not forceful, but I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but you get it, right? Like I really want you to squeeze in there. Inhale, reach out, stretch it out. Exhale, pull the right shoulder blade down and in and pull your elbow kind of back behind you. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, draw it in. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, squeeze it in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach and then come back up. And then right hand down, left arm up and over. Big stretch. Breathe in. Exhale, pull your left elbow back. Squeeze your left shoulder blade into the spine. So you want to get those muscles strengthened. The muscles in between our shoulder blades and the spine. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, draw the elbow back. Squeeze your shoulder blade in. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more, inhale. Squeeze your shoulder blade in, work those muscles. Good, 1 more, inhale. Exhale, squeeze it in, hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch it out. Come back up to center. Reach both arms up and then take your arms out to the side. Palms up, thumbs back. All right, so we're just going to hold here. Bend your elbows a little bit and squeeze your shoulder blades in towards your spine together, like they were going to hold a pencil between them. Hold it here, sit up tall. Now, as you stay sitting up nice and tall, rotate your hands back and interlace your fingers. Try not to lean forward. So we're working more into the rotation of the shoulder joint, using the musculature of our upper back. And then draw your shoulder blades down. Good. As you draw the shoulder blades down, lift your hands away from your back. So if I turn to the side, it looks like this. I'm pulling the shoulder blades down, hands back. So I'm beginning to stretch my deltoids, front deltoid. If you need to hold on to a strap or a towel or a washcloth, right, to make this a little bit easier, go ahead and do that. One more breath. And then exhale, come forward, interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, tuck your chin into your chest, stretch out the back. Keep your fingers interlaced. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, come out to the side, palms up, thumbs back. Squeeze your shoulder blades in, little bend in the elbows. Good. 2 breaths here. Pull the shoulder blades down, inhale. Exhale, take it back, interlace, squeeze your shoulder blades, breathe in. Exhale, come forward, interlace the fingers, press your palms forward, stretch it out. Good. And then sit up nice and tall. Let's come onto our hands and knees. You can have a blanket underneath your knees if you would like. Don't have to. So here, hands are shoulder width apart. Knees will be hips distance apart. Pull the shoulder blades down your back before you even start. See how that starts the movement. So shoulder blades are down, belly in. Inhale, pull your chest forward. I want you to think of your collarbones being lifted up. And then pull the shoulder blades down even more. As you exhale, cat pose. Stretch it out. Let the shoulder blades separate from each other. Inhale, cow pose. Pull your shoulder blades down. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. 2 more like that. Inhale, cat pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. And then take yourself into child's pose. So big toes touch, knees come apart, hands forward. Let your head rest on the floor. If it doesn't rest easily on the floor, you can take a block, take a towel, lift it up. Big breath in. Long breath out. Plant into your hands, look up. Walk your hands over to the left side of the room. So we're taking another side body stretch here. Inhale, walk yourself to center. Exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of the room. Big breath in. Long breath out. And then as you inhale, come back to center. Take your left arm out to the side, thread it underneath the right, and then land on your left shoulder, left side of your head. And your right arm will just reach forward. So here we're stretching out the shoulder area, the top back shoulder, right? Those muscles that we were strengthening now are getting a nice stretch. And one more breath here. And unwind. Take both hands forward. Take your right arm out to the side. Thread it underneath the left. Landing on your right shoulder, right side of your head. The left hand is just going to stay reaching forward. And let your breath deepen here. And your exhale, let your body settle down into your mat. One more breath here. Unwind. And then come back up onto your hands and knees. So let's do another couple rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, pull your chest forward, lift your sits bones. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's come back to a seated pose. So here, if you have a strap, it's a good time for it. Otherwise, you could just have a washcloth. Why not? So we'll come into Mukasana pose, but just the arm portion of it. We haven't warmed up our legs enough yet. All right, so take your right arm up, and here's where if you know you have tight shoulders, you hang on to your strap or your towel, whatever you're going to use. Bend your elbow and then sit up nice and tall. Take your left hand behind you, and you're either interlacing your fingers if you've got that flexibility, or you're hanging on to the towel, like so. All right. So, sit up and press the back of your head into your forearm. We want to keep the spine nice and tall as we work here. Take a nice deep breath in, and then when you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And see if you can walk your hands a little bit closer together on your towel. Stay sitting up nice and tall. Your right elbow should be reaching up towards the ceiling. Your left elbow towards the floor. I'm trying to tuck everything in. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Just sitting up nice and tall. As you exhale, slowly hinge forward. I want you to keep the back of your head connected to your forearm. So if you can only go this far and stay connected and nice tall spine, just stay right there. If you can go a little further, go a little further. But if your head starts to dip forward, stop and then pull back. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come all the way up, keeping your head connected to the forearm, and then slowly let it go. And I mean slow. Good, roll the shoulders. Roll them in the opposite direction. All right, let's go to the other side. So you have your towel or your strap, whatever you're going to use, maybe nothing. Bend the elbow, and then take your right arm back behind you, finding your towel or the strap or your fingers. Sit up nice and tall. You want to lift your collarbones up, squeeze your shoulder blades in, and breathe nice and deep. Use your exhale to deepen this pose. Let's take a couple more breaths. Just sitting up nice and tall. Keep pressing the back of your head into your forearm. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. See if you can get your hands a little bit closer together. And just notice one side will be different than the other. Okay, take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, hinge forward. And keep the back of your head pressing up against your forearm. Keep that connection so that your spine stays nice and straight as we fold. And then stay here folding for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come all the way up. And release slowly. Okay, you can take that, your towel or your strap away for now. Good, nice roll of the shoulder. And then turn, face you a little bit. Take your arms out to the side. Take your right arm across your chest and then take the left arm underneath it, taking the shoulder. I want you to draw your shoulder blades down your back. Keep your right hand fingers spread apart from each other. Sit up tall and then look over your right shoulder. Keep drawing down on the right shoulder with your left hand. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Now inhale, open up. Stretch your arms out, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, take your left arm across your chest, right arm comes up underneath, grab the shoulder, pull down, keep your left hand active, sit up nice and tall on your spine, and then look over your left shoulder. Keep drawing down with your right hand on the shoulder. Nice deep breath. Continue to sit up nice and tall. One more breath here. And now as you inhale, open up. Oh, I just got a nice little adjustment here. My collarbones, take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, squeeze the shoulders, and hinge forward. Hinging doesn't seem like a good idea right now. Stay sitting up tall, just squeeze the shoulders. Inhale, come back up to center. Good. Take your blanket off to the side. We'll come onto our hands and knees. So spread your fingers apart from each other. Index finger should point to 12 o'clock. I want you to draw your shoulder blades down your back and pull your belly button in and up. Make your way into a downward facing dog. Pay attention to your shoulders. I want the shoulder blades to move down your back so that you create space for your neck. And let your head drop. Breathe in. As you exhale, look forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Feet are about hips distance apart here. Grab opposite elbows. Let's come into a ragdoll pose. Bend your knees. Especially if your hamstrings are tight, go ahead and give yourself a good bend in the knees. Imagine that there's two weights on the ends of your elbows, and they're helping to bring the torso down. Deepen your breath. And as you exhale, release your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your hands into your shins and pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Pull your chest forward. Now bend your knees a lot and push your hips back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Take your hands to your thighs again. Sink your hips. Lift your chest. Straighten your arms. So it's like you're going to sit down into a chair, but you're not. And then release. Take your hands out to the side. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Deepen your breath. Take your hands forward. Keep this kind of like a claw image in your hands, but you're kind of lifting up. Sink your hips. We're starting to strengthen more of our back body. Lift your heart a little bit higher. Arms up and straighten your legs and hands down. Good. So I want to do something at the wall. So hopefully you have wall space available. I'm trying to see where the best image would be. Okay. Let me stop. So take your right hand, or whichever is easiest, to the wall. You're going to have a bend in your elbow. I'm going to do this at the door, actually. So a little bit in the elbow, and you don't want to be too far away from your wall. Just keep light pressure with your hand on the wall, and then squeeze that shoulder blade down and in. So if you have your right hand to the wall, you squeeze your right shoulder blade down and in. So you're pulling it down to the hips and then in towards the spine. And then turn your toes away from the wall, just a little bit. We're going to do that a couple times so you don't have to go all the way. Just start small. Breathe in, lengthen up through your spine, stay tall. Exhale, squeeze your right shoulder blade down and in. So keep that pressure pulling in. And then turn the toes away from the wall again. Squeeze your shoulder blade down and in, down and in, down and in. One more breath. And then turn your toes back to their original position. Release your right arm and close your eyes for a moment. I want you to feel the right side versus the left. And then notice my right hand's a little bit longer maybe than the left now. I don't know, just checking it out. Now go to the other side, guys, so opposite. So I just did the right, I'm gonna do my left hand. So light pressure at the wall. Pull your left shoulder blade down and in. Sit up tall on your spine. And then turn your toes out. And then keep pulling the shoulder blade down and in. Deepen your breath. Turn the toes out. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Breathe in. Exhale, draw your left shoulder blade down and in. And keep that pulling in. Really work the muscles between the shoulder blade and the spine. Because those are what get overstretched every day. Let's take one more breath here. And then turn the toes back to center. Release your left hand. And then we'll come back to our mat. So let's stay standing. And we'll come into pyramid pose. We're going to have our arms down. We're going to have them behind us. So there's a couple of things that you can do. You can grab opposite elbows. Do it like this. You can do reverse namaste if you've got that. So you don't quite have it. So I'm just going to grab opposite elbows. Take your right foot forward, left foot back. So coming into pyramid feet. So I want your toes to be pointing in the same direction at 12 o'clock. like you're in a train track set. Inhale, sit up nice and tall in the spine, lift your collarbones, create a little back bend. And back bends, by the way, are created in the upper body, right? Not the lower body. Pull your shoulder blades down and lift your collarbones up. That creates the bend. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, folding all the way forward. And let your head drop. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Like, don't let the shoulders here get lazy. Inhale, come all the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your shoulder blades and switch sides. So left foot forward, right foot back. Sit up tall. Breathe in, lift your collarbones. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades down, creating a back bend. And then come forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you fold and keep them pulling in. Right, the tendency is to just kind of get lazy here. Now engage everything. Keep your chest open. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. And step forward. Release your arms, shake it out. And stand with your feet now a little bit wider than hips distance apart. Let's do our windmill arms, floppy coat sleeves, or in Qigong, tapping on the doors of life. Whatever you want to call it. And let your arms be loose. Let them just flowing around. And the movement is coming from the legs and the turn of the hip. Rotation in your spine. So good for you. Good, one more. Side to side. And then you'll slowly start to let yourself come to a stop. Don't try to abruptly stop. The body still wants to kind of stay in motion a little bit until it settles in, like if you spun a coin. Okay, now come to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, take your feet back, high plank. Shoulders super important here. Press into the floor with your hands. Give a little bend in your elbows so you don't lock them out, and draw your shoulder blades down your back. Now use your legs, squeeze your leg muscles. Pull them in. Let's hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your knees down. We'll come into a side plank. So I want you to take your right foot out to the side a little bit, plant down into your right hand, and then take your left foot back behind you. And you can keep it on the floor. I want you to concentrate on the shoulder joint. So we don't want to like dump in all of our weight into the shoulder. So I want you to push your hands into the floor, little bend in the elbow, and then take your right shoulder blade back and down, just like you had your hand up at the wall. And then turn your chest out and up. Left arm can be reaching up. If it's not comfortable, you could actually squeeze the shoulder blades in and bend your elbow. Whatever you want to do. And then float up your top leg. Keep squeezing, especially that right shoulder blade in towards your spine. Keep your chest open. If we don't squeeze, we start to collapse, right? The space in your chest gets smaller. Open it up. Breathe in. Exhale. Take it down. Come into child's pose. Big toes touch. Knees wide. Forehead down. Take one more breath in child's pose. And then come back up onto your hands and knees. Kick your left foot out to the side so you have like a little kickstand. Take your right leg back behind you and then set up in your arm. Press down into your palm, little bend in your elbows, left shoulder blade pulls in and back as you start to rotate your chest up. Your right arm can reach up or keep it bent, whatever works for you today. And then when you're ready, you could lift your right leg up. So side plank with the bottom knee down. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades together, right? So you're supporting the joint that's supporting all of your weight. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Keep your right leg active. You're squeezing your muscles in towards the bones. And then exhale. Take it down, back into child's pose. One more breath. Let's come back up. All right, so we're gonna make that side plank a little bit harder, but you don't have to take the option. You can do what we did before. Take the right foot out to the side. We'll start there. Take your left foot behind you. Remember to push down into the floor with your hand and draw your shoulder back. Here for now, just keep your left hand on your left hip. And then I want you to push into your hand, lift your hips, and then stack your feet. Side plank. You can always take that bottom leg and take it down. Lift your hips up, and then reach your left arm towards the ceiling. You've got to squeeze your shoulder blades together, guys. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down, knees down, child's pose. Come back up. Ready for the other side. Kick the left foot out, plant your hands. Left foot goes back. Keep your right hand on your right hip for now. As we set up to go to the other side, push into your right foot, take the left foot back, and then stack your feet. Pull your left shoulder blade down and in, and then right arm reaches up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your hips. We'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down, knees down, child's pose. Whew. Good, huh? One more breath. And then come up. Let's come onto our belly since we're right here. So belly down back bends are good to strengthen our back muscles, which will help our shoulders. Take your hands by your chest and then slightly, like a little push into your hands to lift your chest. But I want you to concentrate on using your back muscles. Pull your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. You're just going to hold it here. Contract your leg muscles. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. One more breath. And then as you exhale, stack your wrists and then let your forehead rest and let everything go. Let your muscles soften. Do that again. Take your hands by your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, Use your back muscles to lift your chest. And keep drawing your shoulder blades down. Lift your hands away from the floor. Now your back muscles really have to work. One more breath. And then exhale. Release it. Okay, so let's do a chest stretch. Take your left arm out to the side. You want to keep your chest low to the ground. And then take your right hand and plant it into the floor and push. And then roll your hips over to the left side of the room. So we're getting a stretch here through the chest. If this isn't comfortable, just sit up and interlace your fingers and do that kind of stretch. If you want to add on to this, you can reach back for your right foot. And then you're getting a double. You're getting your quads stretched, and you're getting your left chest. Slowly release your foot if you have it. Roll yourself back to center. And take your right arm out to the side, palm down. Roll your hips to the right, so you're stacking left hip over the right. And you can support yourself with your left hand. Or you can bend your left knee, grab your left foot. So you get a quad stretch as well as a stretch of your right side chest. It's a good reminder for the shoulder blades to squeeze in together. Because the pressure from being on your side just naturally does that. Let's take 2 more breaths. Release your foot. Take your hands down. Slowly come back to center. Come to sit up. And we'll come to a seated pose. How do your shoulders feel? Alright, so we think about the shoulders as just like right here, but the bones that make up the shoulder joint are your collarbone, your humerus, shoulder blade. Alright, so those come together to create the joint. So it's really, our shoulders are here, right? Because it's where your collarbones start. It's interesting. All right, let's, if you have a blanket, go ahead and sit on that blanket. Okay, so we'll get into a couple neck stretches, just because we've been, working this upper area. Let's go ahead and finish it with the neck. So drop your left ear to the left shoulder, and then take your right arm out to the side. And you're just letting gravity do its work here, and try not to lift your shoulders up to the ears. You want the ear to drop towards the shoulder. Soften your breath. It's time to wind our practice down. Turn your gaze down, kind of like over your left hip. Changing the angle of our stretch. And then lift your gaze, look out over your left shoulder, sit up tall. And then bring your gaze back to center. Take your right hand back into your lap. Drop your right ear to the right shoulder, sit up tall. So I'm having a little pinch in my shoulders. It's been going on for a couple days. I'm trying to work it out. So when I let the ear drop, I automatically started doing this, right? Like the shoulder dropped in and my head came down and my chest collapsed. So I'm going to work to not do that. Right, shoulders down. Let my ear drop. Take my left hand out to the side. And so my body was trying to protect me, or my mind was telling the muscles what to do to keep me out of pain. And I'm not in pain right now, but I could just feel it, right? Start to crunch up and to protect around. And now when I get into the proper alignment, there's no pain. I just feel a nice stretch of the left side of my neck. I'm going to continue to work my shoulder blades down just to let them soften and relax. And breathe. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, turn your gaze down onto your right hip. Keep your breath deep and stay tall in your spine. And then lift your gaze, looking over your right shoulder. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your gaze back to center. Left hand comes back into your lap. And then sit up tall again. Take your hands to the collarbones, so hand over hand. As you inhale, lift your chin up and draw your skin down over your collarbone. So you're pulling your hands down towards your navel. As you lift your chin up and just breathe softly. Slowly keep pulling down with your hands as you bring your chin back to center. Good. And roll it out. Let's come down to our backs to finish out practice. As you lay down, take a full body stretch. So reach your arms back behind you. Press your heels forward. And then take your right knee into your chest. And then point and flex your right foot. And then make circles. Circles in the opposite direction. Come back to a flexed foot and then into a twist. Take your right knee all the way over to the left side of the room. Reach your right arm out to the right side of the room. And maybe your gaze comes over to look at your right hand. It doesn't have to. Inhale, let's come back to center, full body stretch. Exhale, take your left knee in, hold it here, and then point and flex your left foot. And make circles. Circles in the opposite direction. Relax the foot again, and then take yourself into a twist. Left knee over to the right. Reach your left arm out to the left. Maybe your gaze turns. Nice deep breath. inhale, come back to center. Reach the arms back, feet forward. Exhale, bring your feet to the floor, knees up. Scoop your tailbone forward, and then take the right foot on top of your left thigh. Grab behind your left thigh. Bring it towards you. So we can't forget our hips. We did a lot of work with our arms today, but let's give our hips a little bit of a stretch. You can extend your left leg up towards the ceiling or keep your knee bent. Up to you. Two more breaths. And then bring your feet to the floor. Switch sides. So left foot on top of the right thigh. Grab behind your right thigh. Pull it towards you. Keep your feet active by flexing your foot. You can straighten the right leg. So then you get a little bit more stretch of your hamstring, but then it takes you out of your hip stretch a little bit. So it just depends on what you want today. Do you need more? Two more breaths. And then take your feet down. Take your feet about as wide as your mat. And then windshield wiper your knees back and forth. So feet are on the floor, knees up. And then you roll from side to side. One more time, side to side. And then bring your knees up, extend your legs forward. Time for Shavasana. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. If you want a blanket for support underneath your knees, you can do that. Maybe something under your head. As you make yourself comfortable in your Shavasana, let the body become heavy and your breath soft. As we lay in Shavasana, this is the moment where our body can absorb the work that we've done. All of the breath, all of the movement. It starts to settle into our body, into our mind. So allow yourself this time of stillness. Worry about what's next. Go ahead and begin to deepen your breath. begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest and roll to your side. And then mindfully make your way up to a seated position. Once you're there, take your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your right. Bow your head. And we'll seal our practice together with a chant of one Om. Inhale. Om. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Together we say Namaste.